In this video, I'm going to be putting together an off-meta build, testing it in some heroic content, but if I go down, I will delete the entire build. Hello, I'm Abrax and welcome to Off Meta, where I will be taking an underused or just bad, exotic, named piece of gear or gear set and putting a build together around it. Then, taking it into some heroic missions or control points, testing the build out. However, if I go down or am killed, I will deconstruct the entire build, losing all of the gear, weapons, materials, and time I've put into it. The rules are simple. This is a non-meta build, so no Fox's Prayer, no Contractor's Gloves, and no Revive Hive, because let's be honest, that would be cheating. I'm also tempted to say no Crusader Shield, because at this point my character permanently has one welded to his arm, but I will leave that up to you good people watching. In the future, I'd love to pull ideas from you folks in the comments, but with this being the first time I'm making a video like this, I needed a jumping off point. So I typed up a community post asking for a little input, and a delightful fellow by the name of Kamikaze Von Doom left a comment. I would tell you to go check out his channel, but let's be honest, if you're watching me, you know Doom. Actually, you know what? Head over to his channel, drop a comment on a video telling him Abrax says hi. I will leave a link to his channel in the description below. He left quite a list, including the Merciless Rifle, the Gunslinger Holster, which to be honest, I can't remember the last time I used either, but he also left a few notable exotics. Huh, I forgot the Acosta go bag was a thing. There are some really good mentions. Wait, hang on, what does this thing do again? Extra armor kits, extra grenades. You know what? I don't think I've ever actually used this bag. F it, Acosta go bag build it is. So here is the build that I came up with. For those of you who want to give it a go, I will break down the build into the gear, weapons, skills, and attributes, then talk a little about how I want the gameplay loop to go. The weapons I'm using here aren't what I originally planned, but I will have a little rant about that shortly. For the mask, I am using a piece of China Light Industries. This gives me the one-piece brand set bonus of 15% explosive damage. And this is no accident. With this build revolving around the Acosta's go bag, you best believe there is going to be a few grenades flying around. For the attributes, I have skill tier for the core attribute and skill haste and crit damage for the minor attributes, and in the mod slot I have a little crit chance. For the chest, I'm using a piece of Grupo for the one-piece brand set bonus of 15% crit damage. The attributes I have here are weapon damage for the core, weapon handling and crit damage for the minor attributes, and in the mod slot I have a little more crit damage. Not too happy with the weapon handling, but it could be worse. For the talent, I thought I would lean fully into the increased grenade capacity of the backpack, so I'm running with Mad Bomber. Grenade radius increased by 50%. Grenades that kill enemies are refunded. Grenades can now be cooked by holding the fire button, making them explode earlier. Gain 15% bonus armor while aiming grenades. This is giving the build a pretty good amount of extras to play with while I'm using grenades, but mainly, I want that 50% radius. That is a good little buff. The holster here, I have a piece of Cheska for the crit chance on the one-piece brand set bonus, and for the attributes I have more crit chance and some crit damage. For the backpack, of course I have the Acosta's go bag. The Acosta's go bag is an exotic backpack with a pretty unique talent. First, the attributes. The go bag comes with skill tier for the core attribute and skill haste and skill damage for the minor attributes. These can't be changed, they're fixed with it being an exotic, and I have put some crit damage in the mod slot. For the talent, or should I say talents, we actually get two, with the first one being one in hand. Don't giggle, mind out of the gutter. Throwing a grenade refunds it and grants +1 skill tier for 15 seconds. Grants overcharge if already at skill tier 6. Cooldown 60 seconds. Not bad, but the part of the talent I'm going to be leaning into is the second part, 2 in the bag. This doesn't really have any game-changing effect, but what it does do is increase a lot of the max capacities, giving us +1 armor kit capacity, +3 grenade capacity, +25% ammo capacity, +10% repair skill, and +10% status effects. I'm hoping Mad Bomber on the chest is starting to make a little more sense now. Fun fact about the Acosta go bag, it actually comes in a few different colours. Neat, right? For the gloves, I have a pair of Grupo gloves for the two-piece brand set bonus for 15% explosive damage, taking the build up to 30%. For the attributes, I have weapon damage in the core and crit chance and damage for the minor attributes. And for the knee pads, I had absolutely no idea what to use. I actually had Fox's Prayer here. Honestly, I didn't even think about it. My brain just put them there automatically, but then obviously remembered the rules. So I started digging through the stash and looking around, couldn't find anything to use, can't use any exotics, and many brands didn't really add anything meaningful. So I dumped a ton of materials into crafting a pair of improvised knee pads with the right attributes, recalibrating and optimizing them until they were perfect. So I landed on a pair of improvised knee pads with weapon damage, crit chance, and crit damage. And the reason I went with the improvised knee pads is because to make up for not having a brand, they actually get their own mod slot, which makes them the only pair of knee pads in the game with a mod slot. I always think the best way to look at this is a bit like having a pick your own brand bonus, which is pretty nice. Here I have more crit damage. For the weapons, what I really wanted here was a FAMAS with the new talent Sledgehammer, which applies a debuff to enemies when they're hit by a grenade, so they take 30% more damage to armor and get a minus 20% movement speed debuff. Sounds pretty good, right? Well, I'm currently making this video not long after the release of Title Update 16 and before the fixes coming with TU 16.1, and there is all kinds of weird bugs going on at the moment. So I spent a ton of time crafting a FAMAS with the right attributes and half decent rolls, farming assault rifles to get a drop with Sledgehammer so I could re-roll it onto the bench. Nope. Just nope. For whatever reason, it is stated that it is in the recal library for assault rifles, but for whatever reason it's just not listed for recal. So I frustratedly tweeted and took a different approach. For the primary now, I am running the new named rifle stage left, with rifle damage, crit damage, and damage to targets out of cover. For the talent, it comes with Perfect Sledgehammer. Dealing damage with a grenade applies a mark on a target. Marked targets will take 40% more damage to armor and have a minus 30% movement speed debuff. Marks will disappear after 10 seconds. So you're probably thinking, Abrax, you were going to take a FAMAS with the standard version of Sledgehammer over this? Yes, I was. The 10% extra isn't a huge amount, and the FAMAS is just more fun to use, to be completely honest. For the secondary, I've repurposed the crafted FAMAS. This comes with assault rifle damage, damage to health, and I've got damage to targets out of cover. And for the talent, I have Preservation, to give the build a little self-healing. Preservation, killing an enemy repairs 10% of armor over 5 seconds. Headshots improve the repair by an additional 10%. And for the sidearm, I have the only pistol I am ever going to use ever again, the Busy Little Bee. The pistol comes with pistol damage and damage to targets out of cover as fixed, with it being an exotic, and its talent, Busy Little Bee. Each shot to a different target will give 1 stack, up to 10. Each stack will give 20% weapon damage increase. Stacks will activate once the agent switches weapon and will last 10 seconds. I love this sidearm. Popping a few shots can give you a pretty good amount of extra damage, even if it's only 1, 2, or 3 targets. For the skills, I wasn't too sure which way to go with this one. I'm usually pretty basic when it comes to skills. I run the Revive Hive and the Crusader Shield. Honestly, at the moment, what more do you need? But I said no Revive Hive, and the Crusader Shield still feels a bit too meta for this. So I thought about the build and decided to run the Blinder Firefly. This is because if this is a build where I want to be throwing a lot of grenades, having enemies stand still seems like a pretty big bonus. And for the second skill, I've gone with the Healing Hive, to give some way to pull my armor back if I get in trouble. The spec I'm using here is Firestarter. Demo would have actually been a smart move if I was going for pure explosive damage, but the play here isn't so much to use the grenade for damage, but also as a primer to do damage with Sledgehammer. So I've gone with Firestarter to get the cluster grenade, giving me a massive radius, hitting and marking as many enemies as possible at once. And of course I have the damage rolled into assault rifles and rifles. We've gone through the build, let's talk about how I want this build to play and the gameplay loop I see with it. When I think about playing this build, the goal is to CC with the Blinder Firefly, proc Sledgehammer using a cluster grenade, then lay down a ton of damage with stage left. Whether or not that's how it's going to work, we'll have to see. Let's see the gameplay and find out how it goes. And by the way, I'm recording this bit before I've even played the mission, so currently I have no idea. Take it away, future me. So the build is together, we've broken it down, now it's time to test it out. For that I'm going to be using American History Museum on Heroic to see how that goes. I am genuinely hoping I don't go down, because the holster I'm using for this build I use for a lot of different builds, and it would suck to have to farm up another and optimize it. It feels good. It's a good feeling build. I don't feel like I'm struggling with this. So the reason I decided Heroic would be a good test per build is because I think that's the benchmark for a good build. Any build I think can get you through hard and challenging. I think you need a good-ish build to get you through Heroic, and then a genuinely great build to get you through Legendary. Is that working? That's not working, is it? That's not working. Preservation on the Famous. Get a bit of armor back. Oh, that doesn't feel good. That is not a lot of damage. Hit him with a grenade. Or don't hit him with a grenade. That's fine too. 1 mil on the M1A isn't bad. It's not bad. I ain't face tanking with it though. I'm very conscious I might be looking down a lot. I have 2 stacked monitors, and the lower one is where the gameplay is. So if I'm like this all the time, that's probably why. 1, 2, 3, and away. I'm just saying. Blinder Firefly is underrated. I might legitimately start using the Blinder Firefly a little bit more. There is nothing better than making everything stand very still in a shooter. Hey, yep. Can you feel the focus? Nope. Nope. Alright, that was closer than I thought that would be, to be honest. Fun fact, little cache round here. This section should be fun with grenades because they're just clusters of the guys. Something I do like about Sledgehammer. I think it's the first time we've actually had a movement debuff. What I'll probably do, depending on the length of these gameplay runs, I will either cut them down or I just stick the whole thing in the video. Some of them are so fast, others are super long. I don't want to be putting in like a 15-minute long chunk. Unless that is what you want to see. If that's what you want to see, let me know. Or whether you'd like something a little bit more cut down, more refined. I can get like a grenade all the way over there. I can. Yoink. I don't think it was worth it, but I did it. Yeah, so I'm actually going to start using the Blinder Firefly. This is only skill tier 2, and it's pretty useful, to be honest. It's more useful than I assumed it would be. There? Will the cluster get her, maybe? No, it did not. Oh, no, f*** it did. Frickin' ow. That calls for an armor kit. Use those as a denial. Advantage of the movement debuff. A bit worried about hitting her from here. You know what? This is the last bit. I have so many grenades. Let's just go crazy. Ow. See if we can get some clusters in there. Is it just her? I am reluctant to go down there. I am not losing my Grupo gloves and my Cheska holster.
more contacts. All clear.
Bosh.
You just recovered intel that's going to be a whole lot.
Did I just say Bosh? I just said Bosh. I'm sorry. So that is it. The build is a success. It more than passes the heroic test. It wasn't the quickest thing in the world. 17 minutes. Jesus Christ. Okay, so this is a 5-6 minute mission. 17 minutes and 17 seconds is a little slower than I would like. However, viable build. That took me happily through heroic. Cool. Let's talk a bit about the build. So, the build. You know what? It's not bad. If you're the kind of player who enjoys throwing grenades around, I would say this honestly might be worth giving a try. You could either run it like I have with Firestarter for cluster grenades, or if you wanted more explosive damage, throw on Demo for the spec, and you'll be doing a lot more damage with grenades. I might be keeping this one in my loadouts for a while, just to play around with it and see how far I can push it. So this was a different type of build video, and if you enjoyed it, let me know by dropping an underused or underrated piece of gear you'd like to see me make a video like this on in the comments below. And while you're down there, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe for future Division 2 content. As always, a massive thank you to my supporters over on Patreon for helping me make this channel the best it can be. And if you would like to join them, you can support the channel for as little as £1 a month. You'll find a link for the Patreon in the description below. Have a great day, and I will catch you in the next one.